If you've watched any of my fabrication videos, you've probably seen me use tools to prep parts both before and after welding. Today, I'm going to go over the 5 metal prep tools that see the most use in my shop, so let's jump right into it. Number 1 would have to be a right angle die grinder. It's a great way to remove weld spatter from your parts or to prep metal surfaces, and I mainly use it with a 3-inch twist lock sanding disc. I like the 3-inch discs over the more common 2-inch because the 3-inch allows you to get into tight corners. My die grinder is a Milwaukee, but you can also find them made by Hypertough and Hercules. Ryobi also sells one, but we won't talk about that.
What the hell is even that?
For the longest time, I just used a cheap pneumatic die grinder, but these battery-powered tools are great because they don't require air and they're a lot quieter. The one trade-off versus air is that they tend to hit a thermal shutdown pretty easily. I compared the Milwaukee and the Hypertough die grinders in a previous video, and to be honest, for the price, the Hypertough isn't that bad at all. You can see here that a 3-inch disc can get in nice and close to the weld when a 2-inch wouldn't be able to because the head of the tool would hit the tube. If you're just getting into metalwork, I'd say pick up some sort of right angle die grinder and you'll find yourself reaching for it all the time. The next tool on the list is a mini belt sander, also sometimes referred to as a band file. It really shines when you need to get into tight spaces like the inside of an opening. If the part has too much of a curve, I might end up using a rotary tool, and that works well, but if I can get the belt sander to work, I definitely use that instead. The mini belt sander that I'm using here is something that I Frankensteined together in a previous video, mostly because the Milwaukee version is so freaking expensive. There is an option for a battery-powered tool on Amazon that comes with everything you need and also works with Makita batteries. I'll put a link to that and a bunch of other stuff down in the description below. You can get a mini belt sander with a cord for a reasonable price, and I've had one for a while that I got from Harbor Freight. I mounted it to a makeshift stand, and this one's only job is to quickly clean the inside edges of short pieces of square tubing. For the outside edges of tubing and other parts, one of my favorite tools in the shop is a disc sander. I got a smoking deal on this one, and I only paid $15 for it on Marketplace. It's the older one from Harbor Freight with the all-metal construction, and this thing is a beast. These zirconia discs are well worth the cost over aluminum oxide. They don't just perform better, but they also last a really long time, which is great because changing the discs kinda sucks, especially when one tears through the paper. For squaring the end of round tubing fresh off the bandsaw, I like to use it like this with a miter gauge. Then I hit the inside with the deburring tool and it leaves me with a nice clean part. It's also great for cleaning the ends of round rod if the part is small enough to be chucked up in a drill. The next tool I use for cleaning small flat parts, and that's a 1-inch belt sander. These are pretty inexpensive from Harbor Freight and it uses a 1x30 belt that I get from Amazon. I think I might actually treat myself to zirconia belts on my next order.
Because I'm worth it.
It performs a lot of the same jobs as my disc sander, but for small to medium flat parts, it really shines. I deal with a lot of laser cut parts and it ends up being easier to use the belt sander than it would be to use my right angle die grinder. If I had to use my M12 die grinder, it would take forever, mainly because of the thermal shutdown. The die grinders don't like to be used continuously, and that's the biggest problem with them. I think you also get a nicer surface finish with the belt sander. The final tool on the list is a bench grinder with a wire wheel. Now, I have a lot of tools that can seriously hurt me, but this one is definitely at the top of the list. If you aren't careful, it could take the part from your hand and send it into a low Earth orbit. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have something to say about the lack of a guard and the fact that I'm wearing gloves, so go ahead and leave your comments below.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was in America. I'm sorry.
I found that the trick is to keep the part below the center line of the wire wheel, and that keeps the part from grabbing. Now, I've had more than a few 6-inch grinders with wire wheels, and they all stall out way too easy, but that's definitely not the case with this 8-inch Hercules bench grinder. If you haven't noticed the pattern yet, I get a lot of my tools from Harbor Freight. Not their wire wheels though. Cheap wire wheels fling off so many loose wires that I need to wear a full face shield.
The box. You opened it.
But this 8-inch DeWalt wire wheel has been great. I mostly use the wire wheel to knock off any loose spatter after welding before I hit the part with my right angle die grinder, but you can also use it to remove rust and mill scale. If you're watching this video because you're looking to get into metalwork, just go ahead and take that first step if you haven't done it already. I've never had any formal shop training at all. Working with metal was just something that always seemed like fun to me, and it really is. My dad did a lot of woodworking, but he never got into metalwork, so he pretty much sparked it off when he bought me a flux core MIG welder like 25 years ago. Everything I know I either learned by trial and error or by watching a bunch of videos like this about metalworking and machining. It's crazy to think that now this is my job, and it's all thanks to people like you watching the videos and continuing to support Lucid Autowerks by purchasing my products. I really can't say thank you enough for giving me this opportunity to let me do the things I truly enjoy. Let me know what tools you think I might have missed, and leave your favorite tools in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more shop content. If you have any video ideas you'd like to see, let me know. Keep grinding away on those projects, stay lucid, and I'll see you in the next one.